I think I'm live now. Hi, guys. Hold on. I'm so glad to see you on this snowy Michigan day. Okay. I'm sorry. I hope everybody's having a fabulous day. So I'm really not supposed to be live on Wednesdays, but I didn't want to leave yesterday's project unfinished because there's a lesson there about, not giving up and anything can be saved. And we'll see. And then I thought I would give you another look at the Baroque stencil. So that is my plan for today. I see a few people on. I am going to pull myself up. Let me put this on Do Not Disturb because I'm flying solo. I don't know. My phone does the weirdest things, you guys. Oops, wrong. Hold on here. I'm not seeing me live on my page. Let me see. Oh, yep, I am. Okay. I'm excited. Hi, Viv. So if you're here, say hi. Hi, Kathy. It really, really helps things when you just even do a smiley face, a thumbs up, anything just to interact with my page. I have a mold curing. I was going to show you something, not on the mold, but just a way to incorporate a mold into that stencil. And I poured it short. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Hi, Becky. It's just me, Linda. All right. So yesterday we were knee deep in this project. And it takes a lot for me to totally walk away from something. So I did a couple of things and I really do like it. No, Pam. I'm so glad you're catching me live. Just me, Deb. So I painted the sides black. I don't know if I added any. Oh, I added this daisy. I know that. I think this could be kind of cool. It is this. Oh yeah, you took a snow day. I know. I feel like I did too. So I did this yesterday, and now I'm just gonna wipe this black paint back to soften it. When I do this, I usually do it right after it's dry because it's easier to remove. But it gives a really pretty vignette. So I'm going to wipe this back. Using like tons of elbow grease here. But it looks cool. It looks a lot more accidental. I'm usually going for that look like when you can put a frame around a photo in an app and it's like that underdeveloped kind of picture. That's kind of what this is supposed to emulate. But if I do it right after I dry it, it comes off much more easily. Thank you, Tracy. It certainly is an improved version. And part of it is, so what are the takeaways? The takeaways are once or twice have I really gone to the point of no return where I've really had to just walk away from something. It's not that often. If it's something that could be painted over, that's what you do. And you can always even cover something with paper. I added more transfers. If I don't like something, it's almost like I have nothing to lose. So I keep at it. And the other thing is, I think when you get an idea in your head of what something should look like or that you want it to look like, and it doesn't, you're automatically not going to be happy with it. So that's where that walking away and looking at it with a fresh set of eyes is really beneficial. So I had an idea yesterday before I left, I'll look at something and say, what is it that bothers me? What do I need to do? Do I need to soften it? And that's kind of like, this is all like this, this goes like this. The flowers go like this. I don't know how else to describe it. I needed something linear, to break it up. So I love that look. And this is all sealed. So I printed a few things and I wanted it to be larger. So I may still trim them down a little bit, but I've got the Earth Laughs in Flowers. And I printed 2 sizes of that. And where flowers bloom, so does hope. So that essentially gives me 4 different sizes to see what I like. And so my thought is, I'm not sure. I think these might be 2. They're different sizes, but let's see what we end up getting. I want this to look not like I just printed it. So we're gonna bend and wrinkle and that's my idea, is for it to go all the way across for the most part. So that's one look. And I don't want it, I want it to go across the frame. So then, let's see what this one is. See, that's a lot simpler. Meaning, it's just simpler. And part of it is the spacing is exactly the same, but I like the aesthetics of this better. And I actually really like this saying. Then let's do, this is just the smaller version of this. I'm almost liking the larger one. I'm liking the larger one. So I'm going to go in with Vintage Photo. To do the edges. The one thing I also realized, like, set it aside for a bit. It's like, for me, if I don't finish something in the moment, it's going to sit for years. So I have to finish stuff within like 24, 48 hours, or nothing good comes of it. Now, I did leave an edge on here. I thought maybe I would add a flower. I also thought I could add, this is a different brad than I used the other day. But I like the thought of anchoring this. So I'm going to cut this side down a little. And I do think I'm going to use those too. I'm still going to glue this though. This is still just a little too good. I'm going to use my Beacon 3-in-1. And I'm going to want this tacked in the middle-ish. So I want a low point down there. Just going to kind of bend this over my finger a little to get that low point. And then here, I'm going to bend it this way. And then this way too. That'll give me a few anchoring spots. I'll still run some glue in there just in case I want to tack it in any other spots. All right, let me see. So I'm always honest with you guys. I'm going to be real honest. This went from something that I hated to something that I absolutely love. And I'm not sure I'm going to add the brads. I kind of like it like this. So it's pretty loopy. Yeah, I don't want the brads. I'm going to leave it. They're not brads. They're upholstery nails. And I am super, super happy with this. Like, I absolutely love it. It's crazy. It's crazy. You just stick with it. So this is the Baroque transfer. And if you were around yesterday, you saw how much I Mickey Moused with it, played with it. Now, what I'd really like to do is go in with the gold paint and hit the edges. But I've already got this on here, so I would have to freehand that. And I just don't, it doesn't matter that much to me. The other thing I could use is my gold paint pen. I could use that to kind of add a little bit of gold just on those, just on the edges. But I really like it. So it's knowing when to walk away, right? So I'm going to let that sit and then I'll hold it up for you. But I'm really loving it. Ooh, I added this flower from Wander right up there. It like totally looked so good right there. Hi, Lorelei. Thank you. And then I had added those blue flowers yesterday, but I loved when I added the rose. And look at all that red is tying together. That was one of my other concerns. But I love this. It's not gallery wrapped, but it's a nice edge on it. Super pretty. Thank you so much. So let's take a look at this stencil. Let's set that there for a minute. Just grab any old plate. So this is Diva Designs, which my good friend Mira is the owner of Diva Designs. I am a stockist for her. And I called her and I said, okay, my yesterday's stencil was a hot mess. What do I do? And we were just kind of laughing about it. Let's get a little bit brighter. So we're going to look at a couple of options. We're going to pretend, I just wanted to do this on paper. I really didn't have any boards cut, and I didn't want to use another board. So I'm going to use medium gray. This is letterpress gray. Oh, I did last night, go in and update all of my DIY paint so my inventory matches what it thinks I had in stock or didn't think I had in stock. So it is 25% off until it's gone. I have some quartz, tons of colors. There were some that I thought I was out of stock on that I'm not. I do want to just tape this down. I have some clear liquid patina, one big top. Just going to tape that right there. And I love the paint. The reason being that I need the small sizes for the direction that I'm going in. So All right, so we've got, this is letterpress gray, and it's different working on paper. I'm going to have to dab more. So sorry about the noise. I absolutely hate that noise. Heck, I hate most noises. Whatever that noise phobia is, I've got it. And we've talked about, you know, the right way to stencil, and we've talked about the fact that I don't do it the right way. I'm not one who needs super crisp lines. I like that vintage, worn, imperfect look. But if you want crisp lines, then you need to offload your brush. I'm working on a soldering project right now, actually a couple of them. My fairy door workshop starts Wednesday. I'm finally getting my paints because it's been bitter cold across the country. My paint couture paint comes from Virginia. So I'm finally getting that so I can get those kits out. That starts Wednesday. And then I'm getting ready to launch my next workshop. I'm working on samples. And I'll be honest, I have no clue what the next one is. Okay, so that is my first coat, the gray. Now, the other thing I'm going to say is whatever your first coat is, don't necessarily think that you're like totally done with that, right? Because it looks really cool to go back in with whatever color you started with. Oh, like sanding does, yeah. A head with crazy hair, that is funny. All right, I'm going to dry this. And it is gorgeous as is. Like, you don't need to add a bunch of layers. But what I'm going to do is just add one more color. I'm thinking springy. So I'm going to use cake batter, which is a butter yellow. So that's the other reason I need small sizes is the large sizes, because I work small these days, the large sizes will, you know, tend more to dry up. So what I'm going to do is, even though this is like where my stencil was, right? Even though it's taped, well, actually, I will pull the tape off. I'm going to shift this just a bit so I get a shadow. And you can decide, like, how am I going to shift it? I'm going to shift it down and right. And now, question is, do I want to switch brushes? I'm going to switch brushes. All right. So now I've got that cake batter. Maybe I'll just go you know, not everywhere. And I would probably pick colors based on what I was going to do in the center. And I'm going to show you another idea when I repeat this. I'll just take a peek. So I'm just going to hit just the edges. Okay. You can see just how pretty that is. Look at that. So pretty. Now from this point, if you wanted this to be a color, you know, you could paint this at this point. Otherwise, this is going to be whatever the background color is. I could cut paper to that size. So something like, let me see what I've got here. I'm a liar. Hold on. Let's do this. We're pretending that this is like an actual project, right? No, I can't do that. Never mind. I'm a liar. I can do that on the next one, though. Just for the sake of example, this would be way too linear for me to use this, but I'll just take this. You know, maybe I'll run it. I don't want those gaps to be to where it looks like it's right in the center. That would annoy the heck out of me. So this might be good right here. Oh, I had to grab one that doesn't have lead. So we'll just trace that center. Back jumped off, do some shopping. Oh. So the thing was, I had liquid patina. I was afraid that my inventory was off, so I temporarily took it off the site. Because we had a couple of things that were wrong and people ordered and I didn't have it. And I always feel terrible. So last night I made sure as much as I can. I think it's all right now. So this, I think, is a thesaurus or a dictionary page. I don't know which. But then you've got, look at how cool that looks. And then you could go ahead and you could put transfer on there. You could take a brush and put a shadow around here, would be really cool. But obviously, and this would be done on a board. But super, super fun. So what if I want like that underneath right there, I want it to be a color. let's look at what that would be like. So I'm just going to flip this whole thing over. And what I'm going to do is take my stencil, and it wouldn't matter right now what color, I'll just use that gray. I'm just going to stamp the outside. Oh, I meant to show you how you could go back in with the gray. My bad. And I'm not doing this, you know, as mindful as if I were doing an actual project. I'd be a little more careful. So I guess we're going to do, my background color is going to be gray, even though, looks like I shifted this. I didn't mean to. It looks like I did. Let's see what that's going to do now. It's going to throw everything off. Hold on for a second. It doesn't work right if you mess it up. But this is a really cool demo. So pretty. All right, we'll go to this side now. That's why I like to use the tape. Okay. Now, all I'm doing is getting an outline. So I'm just going around all the outside edges. And the paper is going to wrinkle and stuff. So, you know, you got to kind of ignore the surface. So all I'm doing is getting an outline. Which I'm pretty sure I accomplished. I'm going to fold that up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually paint in there. And I'll just use the gray again. It doesn't really matter color, right? Let me grab a brush. Well, I don't have that many brushes sitting here, so this is kind of a small one, but it'll do the trick. Okay. All I care about is the outline. Not sure what's going on in there. And I would take more time and get this totally right. Paper is going to be wrinkly. Let's get this in there. So I'd use a bigger brush and it would be a surface that wasn't wrinkling. But this is just another way to use the stencils. Anybody else curious where the heck I'm going with this? So we're going to pretend that it's not wrinkly and it's not paper and all of that. We're going to dry this. I'm not yet. I actually just placed my order. But it will always be in stock. I think I have 2 left in stock, maybe right now, I'm not sure. Why on earth did I do this? We're going to take a look. Careful with my heat gun near the stencil. I'm not being nearly careful enough. So we'll just have to forgive that one spot. Now, I'm not going to use the yellow. I'm going to use crinoline. Oops, just set that there. Okay. I'm going to tape it just in one more section down here. Okay, now I'm going to switch to crinoline. And there's going to be a little bit of yellow on my brush, unless I can clean it. Oh, yeah. The wonky brick wall, I love that one. Let's see, should I just use if I use a smaller one, it's going to take me forever. So we're just going to pretend that this is clean. That's what we're going to do. So we're looking at, why did I just do that? Now we're going to stencil as normal. Keep in mind, please, I'm rushing. So it's just a quickish demo. Now, because I'm going with a light over a dark, that gray is going to peek through. And if that's something that I don't want, keep in mind I'd have to do another coat. Tips and Tricks Wednesday. We're going to pretend that's what today is. So also, I know that this is common sense, but you can't dry it while your stencil's on there. And the reason I mention that is you don't know how many times I've wanted to. So before I did another coat, I would really need to let this dry. But I think you'll get the idea of where I was going with this without me doing another coat. Okay, you ready? Drum roll. Why did I do that? Let's take a look. Because now you have the gray underneath everywhere. Behind those areas. Isn't that so fun? And hold on. Do I love this color combo? Yeah, probably not. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure it's my favorite. Then you could also do that. You could even cut that smaller if you wanted. Again, forget the color combo. But here's the other thing that I wanted to show you that I thought was really cool with this. This is the vintage brooches mold, and all of these are ovals. And I poured this short. Normally you would want to cover all of that, but look at how cool that would look in there. It's like the perfect shape, the perfect proportion. Oh, wouldn't this be beautiful in like a copper patina where you use those colors? I think that would be stunning. But then you can do, I mean, there's so many molds. I took the ornate one because I thought it looked cool with that. But there's this one where the sides are smooth. So I just thought that was really cool. You could even put a little element, mold element up there. Okay, are you ready to see the project that we started with? Oops, so here's that first frame. And I love this too. Am I zoomed in? No. Why do I feel like I'm like, oh, hello. So there's that one. So pretty. And then we've got, oops. Oh yeah, it's gonna stick to my other papers. This one, love that too. And those little marks we would have to touch up if we were doing this for realsies. And then here is that project. And I really love this. Where flowers bloom, so does hope. What you can't see is the 3-dimension of the ribbony, like that's how I put that on there. See how it's like crinkly? And it really adds more interest. Let's see if I can get the color to be better. So I really like that. Thank you, Darlene. The dainty flourish of the mold pairs well with the larger swooshes. I love dainty flourishes. I just have that coming back in stock with the new release that I don't think we're allowed to say much, but I know the sneak peeks are starting pretty soon. It's a good one. It's a really good one. I've been playing with it. So I appreciate you guys so, so much. I know that I just didn't want to leave us hanging. I thought there was just such a valuable lesson in that, to like walk away, use a fresh set of eyes. Don't be afraid to paint over, tear off paper. We're not always going to get it right the first time. And I get in creative slumps. I don't know about you guys, where I feel like I'm not doing anything right for the most part. There are just a couple of bundles of the spring papers left. And there's DIY paint left that's 25% off. If you're waiting on a paint delivery from me, those who ordered last night, that will go out tomorrow. The ones that I've had for about a week went out today. We've got 2 days before the weather gets like frigid. So I wanted to get those shipped. And then I bought for the kits for the fairy door workshop. I was so worried about shipping the paint. I bought insulation packs to put the paint in that should keep the temperature from freezing. That's their claim to fame anyhow. So that's how I'm going to be able to ship those. But I appreciate you guys so, so much. And I will see you soon. Bye, everybody.